Today, I am building on this open 20 by 30 lot in the lower part of Tamarang. This is for a collaboration that I'm doing with HipHipRenee. We are building an apartment building together, taking turns doing one apartment at a time. Since I'm going first, I have the pleasure of picking the lot as well as building the lobby for the building. And when I'm done building the first apartment, it will be Renee's turn to build a second apartment for this building. Renee will also be responsible for creating the Sims that are going to live in this apartment that I built. And when Renee has finished building the second apartment, it will be my turn to create the Sims that are going to live in the apartment that she created, and then to create the third apartment. And we're going to go back and forth like this until we have created a 6-unit apartment building and all of the Sims that will live here. I didn't really have a plan going into this build. I was just kind of going with the flow, but then I found this dark turquoise swatch of this fireplace and got really inspired by that. And in my head, I was seeing this green color with a lot of yellows and pinks and oranges and other bright colors like that. And I pretty quickly decided I was going to go with a maximalist style. I've never done a maximalist build before, so this was definitely new territory for me, but in the end, I think it came together. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, and it does take up the majority of the floor space on the first floor. I definitely only left room for a 1-bedroom apartment to be added to the first floor. But Renee doesn't necessarily have to build that apartment. She could build on the second floor if she wants. She could turn the remaining first floor space into more shared space. There's no utility room yet with the new water heater and electrical fuse box, though later in the video I do add a shared laundry room for the building. My point is that there really aren't any rules here, and that's scary for me as an autistic person. Also, can we talk about For Rent's soundtrack? It goes kind of hard. That's what we're listening to right now, and I kind of like it. I would listen to this in my free time, and I'm probably going to. I've been playing a lot of For Rent on stream lately. In fact, I made this build on stream. That's why you might occasionally be seeing new follower and new subscription notifications popping up during this video. I also made a huge 6-unit apartment complex, and I've been doing a Let's Play in that apartment complex on my Twitch channel. I'm playing as a landlord who is a single dad and has a teenage daughter. They live in the apartment building that they own, and her maternal grandmother lives in the apartment across the hall from them. But her mom does not live in the building. She lives somewhere else. For this apartment, though, I was thinking a married couple and their teenager would live here. But ultimately, that's up to Renee because she's creating the Sims that will live here. But at this point in the build, the style of the apartment is really starting to come together, and I'm excited to see who Renee is going to make to be its occupants. As I said earlier, this was my first time doing a maximalism build, and I didn't realize just how time-consuming that was going to be. This build took around 4 hours because of all of the little details that I kept adding. Now, looking back on it, it was probably a bad idea to go for maximalism in the first apartment of this building, because that could potentially cause some lag later on, especially once we get to the 5th unit and the 6th unit. Just because there's so much clutter, this is probably one of the most cluttered builds that I've ever done. There is a trick, though, to help reduce lag with these large apartment buildings when you're building them, and that is to just build them as a regular residential lot and then convert them to residential rentals and assign the different spaces once the entire build is done. And so that's what I'm doing here. This is just a residential lot, not a residential rental, and we'll convert it to a residential rental later. And now that we're working on the bedroom, this is where I decided that a couple was going to live here. Until now, I was operating under the assumption that it was going to be a single parent and their teenage child. But I arranged things in the bedroom, like the bedside tables, in a way that indicates there are 2 parents living here, so I just went with it. Also, when I play tested this build, I had to move some things around to make sure it was functional, like the laundry piles and the easel. So if you download this build from the gallery, there might be a couple of minor differences between what you're seeing in the video and what you download from the gallery, but that was just for the sake of making sure everything was functional and nothing of consequence changed. There's also a functional laundry hamper in this bathroom. There will probably have to be a functional laundry hamper in every apartment in this building, and that's because of the shared laundry room. During gameplay, it doesn't matter which apartment is active. Since the laundry room is shared space, it's going to load with every apartment, and that will activate the laundry gameplay. If there's an apartment with no hamper, then that apartment will generate piles of laundry during gameplay, which could be fun for a slob sim in a dirty apartment. For the second bedroom, I'm thinking it's probably going to belong to a teenager. I gave them a streaming setup and a guitar, and a noticeably different style from their parents. And now we've moved on to the lobby and the shared laundry space. I tried to keep this space really simple and generic, and since this is a shared space, Renee can add things here too. Like the stair rail that I forgot. I can hear Renee now. Your builds are bad and you should feel bad. And here is a quick walkthrough of the apartment. I think it turned out real nice. I had to go into first person mode in the second bedroom because the camera got a little bit wonky. I also noticed there isn't any clutter on the desk in that bedroom, but don't worry, I did add some later. It's just not in the video. I also didn't put nearly as many wall decorations in the master bedroom as I did in the rest of the living space, but I think the wallpaper in there makes up for it. And I really like the colors in this bathroom, but I wish I could have picked a more ornate mirror. But most of the mirrors in the game clip through the faucet on that sink I used, so I couldn't use them. And here's one last look at the kitchen before we go out into the hallway, where again, I clearly forgot the stair rail. Around the corner here is the shared laundry room. I know the washers and dryers look like they're different colors here. They're not. That's the same swatch. The lighting in The Sims 4 is just weird. And I noticed that I hadn't painted the ceilings in the lobby or the laundry room yet, so I went ahead and took care of that here. And I didn't do anything to the exterior of the building other than just add a little patio and some stairs. We're saving the exterior for whoever goes last. But that's it for me. HipHipRenee, it's your turn.